"Get your hands off my father." The scream cut through the controlled chaos of Chicago Memorial Hospital's emergency room like a knife. "We want a real doctor." Dr. Layla Ahmed froze mid-examination, her stethoscope still pressed against the elderly man's chest. His heart was failing. She could hear it struggling, the irregular rhythm screaming danger. Every second counted. But his son, Michael Brooks, was physically trying to pull her away from the patient. "Sir, your father is having a cardiac event," Dr. Layla said calmly, her hijab perfectly pinned despite the late hour. "I don't care what you need." Michael's face was red with rage and fear. "You're not touching him. Get me an American doctor, a real one." Have you ever had to choose between your dignity and someone's life? The emergency room was packed, typical for a Friday night in Chicago. 3 nurses stood frozen, uncertain whether to intervene. A teenage girl in the corner was already recording on her phone, her TikTok live stream showing 847 viewers and climbing. Dr. Layla glanced at the monitors. Blood pressure dropping. Oxygen saturation at 89%. The man on the gurney, Robert Brooks, age 68, was dying, and his son was more concerned about her hijab than his father's heartbeat. "Mr. Brooks," Dr. Layla tried again, her voice steady despite the adrenaline, "your father needs immediate intervention. Every second we delay, I said no." Michael grabbed her arm, actually grabbed her, leaving red marks on her brown skin. "Where's Dr. Patterson? Where's the chief? Get me someone who actually went to medical school." A security guard stepped forward. "Sir, you need to let the doctor work." "She's not a doctor!" Michael's voice echoed through the ER. "Look at her. You think I'm gonna let some refugee who probably got her degree online touch my father?" The words hung in the air like poison. Dr. Layla took a step back, her hands raised in surrender, not because she agreed, not because she was afraid, but because she'd been trained for this exact scenario. When family members refused care based on her identity, hospital protocol was clear. Step back, get another physician, save the patient, even if it costs your dignity. "Nurse Williams," Dr. Layla said quietly, "please page Dr. Harrison. Tell him we have a family requesting physician substitution." But here's what nobody knew yet. Nurse Williams hesitated. "Dr. Ahmed, Dr. Harrison is in surgery, won't be available for at least 45 minutes. Michael Brooks turned pale. 45 minutes? What about someone else? Anyone else? "It's Friday night," Nurse Williams said carefully. "We're understaffed. Dr. Ahmed is our senior attending physician in emergency medicine. She's the most qualified person in this building right now." "I don't care," Michael's voice cracked. "I don't care if she has 100 degrees. I don't trust her. I don't trust people like her." People like her. The teenage girl filming zoomed in on Dr. Layla's face. The live stream viewer count hit 2341. Comments flooded in. "Is this real? He's really refusing a doctor because of her hijab? His dad is dying and he's being racist. Someone call the news." Robert Brooks groaned on the gurney. His eyes fluttered open briefly. "Michael, son, what's happening?" "It's okay, Dad," Michael lied, gripping his father's hand. "We're getting you a real doctor." Dr. Layla checked her watch, 11:47 p.m. She'd been on shift for 14 hours. She'd saved 6 lives today. She had 3 board certifications, 2 medical degrees, and had trained at Johns Hopkins. She'd published 17 peer-reviewed papers. She'd received the Presidential Award for Medical Excellence. And none of it mattered to Michael Brooks because of the piece of fabric on her head. "Mr. Brooks," she said, and something in her voice made everyone stop. "I'm going to tell you something, and I need you to listen carefully." Michael turned, suspicious.
Your father is having an acute myocardial infarction, a massive heart attack. His left anterior descending artery is almost certainly blocked. Without immediate intervention, he has maybe 10 minutes before permanent heart damage, maybe 15 before cardiac arrest." She pointed to the monitor. "See that rhythm? That's called ventricular tachycardia. It's a warning. His heart is about to stop beating effectively." "Then get someone else to fix it," Michael shouted. "There is no one else," Dr. Layla replied. "Dr. Harrison is in surgery. Dr. Kim is treating a trauma patient. Dr. Okonkwo is dealing with a stroke victim. I am the only interventional cardiologist available in this hospital right now." The words interventional cardiologist made several nurses' heads snap up. "You're a heart specialist?" Nurse Williams asked, surprised.
"I'm the director of emergency cardiac interventions," Dr. Layla said quietly. "I've performed over 500 emergency catheterizations. My survival rate is 97.3%, highest in the Midwest." But Michael Brooks wasn't listening to statistics. He was looking at her hijab, her brown skin, her name tag that read Dr. Layla Ahmed, in letters he'd apparently decided meant unqualified. "I don't believe you," he said flatly. "You won't believe what happened in the next 60 seconds. Dr. Layla pulled out her phone. She opened her email and pulled up a message. "This is from this morning, from the American College of Cardiology." She held it up so Michael could see. The subject line read, "Congratulations, Award for Excellence in Emergency Cardiac Care. I received this award 3 hours ago," Dr. Layla said, "for having the highest cardiac emergency survival rate in Illinois. That's not a fake degree from online school, Mr. Brooks. That's 500 families who got their loved ones back because I was good enough, trained enough, and fast enough to save them." Michael's face twisted with confusion and anger. "Then why are you wearing that thing on your head? Real doctors come in all forms," Dr. Layla interrupted. "And right now, this real doctor is the only thing standing between your father and death." Robert Brooks groaned again, louder this time. The monitors started beeping more urgently. His blood pressure was dropping dangerously low. "Nurse Williams, what's the BP?" 78/40, dropping. "Oxygen sat? 85%. He's crashing, doctor." Dr. Layla looked at Michael Brooks. "You have 10 seconds to decide. Let me save your father's life, or watch him die while you wait for a doctor whose appearance you find more acceptable." The emergency room went silent, except for the urgent beeping of the monitors and Robert Brooks' labored breathing. Michael looked at his father, looked at Dr. Layla, looked at the monitors he didn't understand but knew meant something terrible. "If he dies because of you, if he dies, it will be because you delayed treatment," Dr. Layla said coldly. "Now decide. 9 seconds." The livestream viewer count hit 8,000. The teenage girl filming was crying. 8 seconds. Michael's hands shook. 7 seconds. A nurse moved to start chest compressions as Robert's eyes rolled back. 6 seconds! "Fine!" Michael screamed. "Fine, just save him, please!" Dr. Layla moved like lightning. "Nurse Williams, prep for emergency cath. Get me a radial access kit. Someone page the cath lab and tell them we're coming up hot. I need aspirin, clopidogrel, and heparin now. And somebody get this family member out of my ER before he interferes again." Her transformation from patient victim to commanding physician was instantaneous and absolute. Security firmly escorted Michael to the waiting area despite his protests. Dr. Layla's hands moved with practiced precision. IV line, medications, preparations for the emergency procedure that would either save Robert Brooks' life or fail trying. "BP stabilizing at 90/50, Nurse Williams reported. "Good, we're moving. Clear the way to the cath lab." As they rushed the gurney through the corridors, Robert Brooks' eyes opened slightly. He looked at Dr. Layla, really looked at her for the first time. Are you my doctor?" His voice was weak. "Yes, Mr. Brooks. I'm going to take care of you." "My son, he was wrong. I'm sorry."
Save your energy, Dr. Layla said gently. Apologize after I save your life. The teenage girl's live stream followed them as far as the restricted area. 15,000 viewers now. The comments section was exploding. This doctor is a hero. That son should be arrested. She stayed so calm. I'm crying. This is so powerful.
But the real story was just beginning. The cardiac catheterization lab was a marvel of modern medicine. Monitors everywhere, imaging equipment that cost millions, a team of specialists who'd been roused from their sleep to assist with the emergency. Robert Brooks was barely conscious as they positioned him on the table. Dr. Layla scrubbed in with practiced efficiency, her hijab covered by a sterile surgical cap, her hands steady despite 14 hours of exhausting work. "Okay, Mr. Brooks," she said, her voice filtering through her mask. "I'm going to insert a catheter through your wrist and guide it to your heart. You'll feel some pressure, but no pain. I need you to stay very still." Will I make it?" Robert's voice trembled. Dr. Leyland looked him in the eyes. "I've done this 500 times. You're in good hands. Even though my son..." "Your son was scared," Dr. Layla said, prepping the access site. "Fear makes people say terrible things. Right now, all that matters is keeping you alive." The procedure began. Through the imaging screens, Dr. Layla navigated the tiny catheter through Robert's vascular system with the precision of an artist. The blocked artery appeared on the monitor, 95% occluded, a time bomb waiting to kill him. "There it is," she murmured. "Left anterior descending, critical stenosis." Her team worked in perfect synchronization. They'd done this before, many times, but never under these circumstances. Never after the patient's family had explicitly rejected their leader based on her faith. Advancing the wire, Dr. Layla narrated for the team and the recording system, positioning the balloon catheter, and inflating. On the monitors, the blocked artery slowly opened. "Blood flow restored," a technician announced. "BP improving, 110/70. Heart rhythm stabilizing. O2 sat up to 96%.
It was working. 27 minutes after being refused treatment, Robert Brooks' heart was being saved by the doctor his son had tried to reject. But just when everyone thought the crisis was over, "Doctor, we have ST elevation in leads 2, 3, and AVF," a nurse called out urgently. Dr. Layla's eyes snapped to the monitor. "He's having a second event, right coronary artery. Damn it." Another blockage, another life-threatening crisis. "Can we access it from the current position?" her assistant asked. Dr. Layla studied the imaging. "Not easily. I'll have to retract and reposition. Mr. Brooks, I need you to hold on for me. We're not done yet." Robert nodded weakly, his trust in her now complete. For the next 18 minutes, Dr. Layla Ahmed performed what her team would later describe as one of the most technically difficult emergency interventions they'd ever witnessed. The second blockage was in an awkward position, surrounded by smaller vessels that could easily be damaged. One wrong move, and Robert Brooks would bleed out internally. No pressure. "Steady," Dr. Layla whispered to herself, guiding the catheter with microscopic precision. "Steady, steady, there." The second balloon inflated. The second blockage cleared. Robert Brooks' heart, which had been minutes from permanent failure, began beating with normal rhythm. "All clear," Dr. Layla announced. "We got it." The cath lab team erupted in relieved applause. A technician wiped tears from under his glasses. "That was incredible, doctor," Nurse Williams said. "I've never seen anyone navigate that quickly." Dr. Layla removed her mask, revealing a face exhausted but professional. "It's what we trained for. Mr. Brooks, you're going to be okay. We'll keep you overnight for monitoring, but you're out of immediate danger." Robert Brooks, tears streaming down his face, grabbed her hand. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for what my son said." "Your son loves you," Dr. Layla said gently. "He was terrified of losing you. Fear and prejudice often look the same, but one comes from love and the other from ignorance. Today, we dealt with both. Michael Brooks had been pacing for 90 minutes. Every worst-case scenario played through his mind. His father was dying because he delayed treatment. His prejudice had killed his dad. When Dr. Layla emerged from the restricted area, still in her scrubs, Michael rushed toward her. "Izzy, your father is alive," Dr. Layla said. "He had 2 complete blockages. We cleared both. He's stable and resting in cardiac ICU." Michael's legs gave out. He collapsed into a chair, his face in his hands. "Oh God! Oh, thank God!" "Mr. Brooks," Dr. Layla continued, her voice professional but not unkind, "your father came very close to death tonight. The delay caused by your objections nearly cost him his life." Michael looked up, tears streaming. I know. I'm a terrible person. I'm a racist piece of—" "You're a scared son," Dr. Layla interrupted, "who made terrible choices based on prejudice you probably didn't even realize you had until tonight." "How can you be so calm?" Michael asked. "How can you stand there after what I said, after how I treated you, and just save him like it didn't matter?" Dr. Layla sat down in the chair next to him. For the first time that night, she looked tired. "Because it doesn't matter," she said quietly. "Not to me. Not when someone's life is on the line. You could have called me every name in the book, and believe me, I've heard them all, and I still would have saved your father." "Why?" "Because that's what doctors do. We take an oath to heal. Not to heal people who respect us, not to heal people who look like us or believe what we believe. We heal people. Period." Michael shook his head, unable to process this level of grace. "I don't deserve your kindness." "Probably not," Dr. Layla agreed. "But your father deserves to live, and that's what matters."
She stood to leave. "Dr. Layla," Michael called after her, "I want to apologize. Publicly. I want everyone who saw what I did to know I was wrong." Dr. Layla turned back. "Mr. Brooks, I don't need your apology. But the next Muslim doctor you meet, the next person in a hijab you see, they might." She walked away, leaving Michael Brooks to contemplate the hardest lesson of his life. But the story wasn't over yet. The teenage girl who'd live-streamed the incident, Maya Rodriguez, was still in the hospital. Her brother had been treated for a broken arm, but she'd stayed, watching the story unfold. Her TikTok video had exploded. 2.3 million views, 847,000 shares. Every major news outlet was requesting permission to use the footage. The video showed everything. Michael's racist refusal, Dr. Layla's calm professionalism, the life-or-death stakes, and the race against time. But Maya had recorded something else too. She'd kept filming after they took Robert to surgery. She'd captured Michael's breakdown in the waiting room, and she'd filmed the moment Dr. Layla emerged to tell him his father would live. That part of the video had its own viral moment. Racist son refuses Muslim doctor. Muslim doctor saves his father anyway. The comments were a mix of outrage and inspiration. This is what healthcare should be. Dr. Layla is a real hero. That son better spend the rest of his life making up for this. Meanwhile, we can't get appointments for weeks, and this doctor worked 14 hours. This is America's problem in one video. Maya posted a follow-up video at 4:30 a.m. Update: the patient survived. Dr. Layla saved his life despite everything his son said. I just watched her leave the hospital after a 16-hour shift. She didn't do any interviews. She didn't want recognition. She just went home. That's a hero. That video got 4.1 million views. Dr. Jonathan Reeves, chief of medicine at Chicago Memorial, was in his office by 6 a.m., fielding calls from every news organization in the country. Yes, Dr. Layla is one of our most decorated physicians. No, this is not the first time she's faced discrimination.
Yes, we're reviewing our protocols for protecting staff from patient-family abuse. No comment on potential legal action. But the call that mattered most came at 7:15 a.m. Dr. Reeves, this is Janice Morrison from the American Medical Association. We've been reviewing the viral video from last night. We'd like to nominate Dr. Layla for the AMA Physician Hero Award. Dr. Reeves felt a surge of pride. She deserves it. She's the best cardiac specialist I've ever worked with. We're also recommending she be the keynote speaker at our national conference on healthcare discrimination. This incident highlights everything wrong with how medical professionals from marginalized communities are treated. I'll inform her, but Dr. Layla she's private. She doesn't seek attention. The attention has found her, Dr. Reeves. The question is whether we use this moment to create real change or let it become just another viral video. Robert Brooks woke up slowly, his chest sore but his heart beating steadily. Michael sat beside his bed, looking like he hadn't slept. "Dad, thank God. How do you feel?" "Like I got hit by a truck. But alive. That doctor, she saved me, didn't she?" Michael nodded, unable to speak. "I heard what you said to her," Robert continued, his voice weak but clear. "When I was on that table, going in and out, I heard you. Heard how you treated her. Dad, I'm sorry. I was scared, and You were raised better than that. Your mother and we taught you to judge people by their character, not their appearance. When did you forget that?" Michael had no answer. "That woman saved my life after you tried to stop her. After you insulted her, discriminated against her, treated her like she was less than human. And she still saved me. What does that tell you about her character?" "That she's a better person than I'll ever be." "Then start trying to be better," Robert said firmly. "Start today." There was a knock at the door. Dr. Layla entered for morning rounds, accompanied by a nurse and a medical resident. "Mr. Brooks, how are we feeling this morning?" "Thanks to you, doctor, I'm feeling grateful to be alive." Dr. Layla checked his monitors, made notes on her tablet. "Your numbers look good, heart rhythm is stable. We'll keep you another day for observation, but you should make a full recovery." "Dr. Layla," Robert said, "I need to say something." "Mr. Brooks, you should rest. Please, let me say this." Robert looked at his son, then back to Dr. Layla. "I'm 68 years old. I've lived through a lot of change in this country. I thought I'd learn to see people for who they are. But last night, I didn't stop my son when he should have been stopped. I didn't speak up for you when I should have. I'm ashamed of that." Dr. Layla's expression softened. "Mr. Brooks, you are having a heart attack. You're not responsible for... But I am responsible for how I raised my son," Robert insisted, looking at Michael with disappointment. "And clearly, I failed somewhere along the way." Michael flinched, but didn't argue. "However," Dr. Layla said gently, "you're also responsible for how you move forward from here. Both of you. That's what matters now." She prepared to leave, but Michael stood up. "Dr. Layla, wait, please." He pulled out his phone. "That video from last night has millions of views. Everyone saw what I did, what I said. I want to make a public statement. I want to apologize publicly and use this moment to help other people not make my mistakes." Dr. Layla studied him carefully. "Mr. Brooks, public apologies are often more about making the apologizer feel better than about actually creating change." "I know," Michael said. "That's why I want to do more than apologize. I want to fund a program, anti-discrimination training for patient families, donations to organizations fighting Islamophobia, whatever it takes to turn my ignorance into something positive." For the first time, Dr. Layla looked surprised. That's actually meaningful," she admitted. "It's the least I can do," Michael said. "It doesn't undo what I said, it doesn't erase the harm, but maybe it prevents someone else from making the same mistakes." Robert Brooks reached out and squeezed his son's hand. "Now that's the son I raised." The press conference was packed. Every major news outlet had sent reporters. Dr. Layla sat at a table with Michael and Robert Brooks, who'd been discharged but returned for this event. "Thank you all for coming," Dr. Layla began, clearly uncomfortable with the attention. "I've never sought publicity. I'm a doctor. I do my job. But this situation has highlighted something that needs to be discussed." She took a breath. Medical professionals who are Muslim or Sikh or Hindu or who wear religious garments face discrimination regularly. Studies show that patients often refuse care from doctors based solely on appearance, even when those doctors are more qualified than alternatives. She gestured to a chart on the screen behind her. Last year, over 15,000 documented cases of healthcare workers facing religious or racial discrimination from patients or families. That's 15,000 times that qualified medical professionals were rejected, not because of their skills, but because of prejudice. Michael Brooks took the microphone next. "I'm Michael Brooks. I'm the man who refused Dr. Layla's care and nearly killed my father in the process." His voice shook. "I'm here to tell you that I was completely, utterly wrong. Dr. Layla is not just a good doctor. She's one of the best cardiac specialists in the country. And I couldn't see that because I was blinded by prejudice I didn't even know I had." He paused, collecting himself. "My father and I are establishing the Second Chance Foundation, named because Dr. Layla gave my father a second chance at life and gave me a second chance to be a better person. We're starting with a $500,000 donation to fund anti-discrimination training and support for healthcare workers facing bias." The room erupted in camera flashes and questions. "Dr. Layla, how did it feel to be discriminated against while trying to save someone's life?" "It felt like every other time," Dr. Layla answered honestly. "This wasn't my first experience with this. It probably won't be my last. The only difference is that this time, it was caught on camera. Do you think this will change anything?" Dr. Layla was quiet for a moment. I think change happens slowly. One interaction at a time. One person choosing to be better. One family deciding that their fear doesn't justify their hatred. Will this one video change everything? No. But maybe it changes one person. And maybe that one person changes another. And eventually we get to a world where doctors are judged by their skill, not their hijab.
Robert Brooks took the microphone, his voice still weak but determined. "I'm a 68-year-old man who should have known better. I come from a generation that saw segregation end, that watched civil rights movements succeed, that claimed to have learned the lessons of history. But when my son displayed prejudice, I didn't stop him. I didn't speak up. I let fear and bias guide our decisions." He looked directly at the cameras. If you're watching this and you've ever dismissed someone because of how they look, how they dress, or what they believe, stop. Just stop. The person you're dismissing might be the only one who can save your life. They might be the most qualified person in the room. Your prejudice doesn't make you safe, it makes you ignorant. The quote would be replayed on every news channel for days. Dr. Layla Ahmed stood at the podium in front of 5,000 physicians from across the country. She'd accepted the Physician Hero Award, though she insisted it should honor all healthcare workers facing discrimination, not just her. "When I chose medicine," she told the assembled doctors, "I knew it would be difficult. I knew the hours would be long, the stress would be high, the emotional toll would be heavy.
What I didn't fully understand was that some of the difficulty would come not from the medicine itself, but from fighting to be seen as qualified to practice it. She clicked to a slide showing statistics. 62% of Muslim healthcare workers report experiencing workplace discrimination. 48% have had patients refuse their care based on religious identity. 73% have heard colleagues make discriminatory remarks about Muslim patients. The numbers stunned the audience. But here's what I want you to know. We stay anyway. We stay because patients need us. We stay because medicine is a calling, not just a career. We stay because saving lives matters more than protecting our feelings. She clicked to a new slide, a picture of Robert Brooks, healthy and smiling, with his family. This man almost died because his son couldn't see past my hijab. Today, he's alive, he's healthy, and he's become an advocate for change. His son, Michael, has raised over $2 million for anti-discrimination programs. They've spoken at 50 hospitals about implicit bias. Dr. Layla paused. That transformation didn't happen because I was angry. It didn't happen because I refused to treat the patient. It happened because I did my job with excellence despite the discrimination. And that excellence forced them to confront their own prejudice. She looked out at the sea of faces.
So, to every medical professional in this room who has faced discrimination, your excellence is your answer. Your skill is your proof. Your compassion is your weapon against hatred. Keep showing up. Keep being brilliant. Keep saving lives. Eventually, they'll have no choice but to see you for who you really are. The standing ovation lasted 7 minutes. Michael Brooks watched the anniversary coverage on the news. It had been exactly 1 year since the viral video that changed his life. His father sat beside him, healthy and active again, doing the physical therapy exercises Dr. Layla had recommended. "You know what I'm most grateful for?" Robert asked. "What, Dad?" "Not just that I'm alive, but that I got to see you become the man I always knew you could be." Michael smiled, though tears threatened. "I'm still working on it, every day." His phone buzzed. A notification from the Second Chance Foundation app. Another hospital had completed their anti-bias training program. That made 127 hospitals in total. 127 hospitals where healthcare workers would face a little less discrimination. 127 hospitals where patients like his father would get the best care regardless of their prejudices. 127 places where doctors like Layla Ahmed could practice medicine without fighting for basic respect. It wasn't enough. It would never be enough to undo the harm. But it was something. "Dad," Michael said, "Dr. Layla invited us to speak at a medical school next month. About our experience. You up for it?" "Absolutely," Robert replied. "Sharing our story is the least we can do." The doorbell rang. Michael opened it to find a delivery, a plaque from the AMA. In recognition of transformative advocacy and commitment to healthcare equality. Attached was a note in familiar handwriting. "Keep going, keep growing, keep helping others do the same. Dr. Layla Ahmed." Michael hung the plaque in his office, where he'd see it every morning. A reminder that redemption isn't a destination, it's a direction.
And every day, he chose to move in that direction. Dr. Layla Ahmed continued practicing medicine, saving lives with the same excellence that had always defined her work. But she also became a voice for change, speaking at conferences, training programs, and medical schools about confronting bias in healthcare. The viral video was now shown in 400+ medical schools as a teaching tool about patient discrimination and professional response. The Second Chance Foundation had grown beyond Michael's initial investment. Corporate sponsors, individual donors, and medical organizations contributed. Within 2 years, they'd funded anti-discrimination programs in 500 hospitals across North America. Most importantly, patient refusals of care based on physician identity dropped by 34% in hospitals that implemented the training programs. 34% fewer doctors facing what Dr. Layla faced that night. 34% fewer patients nearly dying because of their own prejudice. 34% more families receiving the best possible care regardless of their biases. The numbers told the story of change. Slow, incremental, but real. 2 years after the incident, a journalist asked Dr. Layla if she would do anything differently. "Not about the medicine," she said. "I did everything right medically. But I wonder sometimes if I should have refused to treat him, if I should have made him sit with the consequences of his discrimination." "Why didn't you?" "Because that's not who I am," Dr. Layla replied. "And more importantly, because that's not what medicine is. We don't withhold care to teach lessons. We give care because it's what we swore to do. The lessons come after, when they're forced to reconcile the fact that the person they degraded saved their life anyway." Do you think he really changed? I think Michael Brooks is trying to change. I think his father's near-death experience shocked him into confronting his own prejudice. Will it last? I don't know. But I know that 127 hospitals have better policies now. I know that thousands of healthcare workers have better protection. I know that my profession is slightly more equitable than it was 2 years ago. She smiled slightly. That's not because of me. It's because one scared son made a terrible choice and then chose to spend the rest of his life making it right. That's the story I want people to remember. This story represents thousands of real incidents where qualified medical professionals face discrimination based on religious identity, race, or appearance. The difference here? It was captured on video and forced accountability. Most discrimination happens quietly. Most victims don't have the power to create change. Most prejudice goes unchallenged. But when we do challenge it, when we document it, share it, and demand better, change becomes possible. Dr. Layla Ahmed saved a life while being actively discriminated against. Her professionalism, her grace under pressure, and her commitment to her oath, despite personal attack, demonstrated what healthcare should be. Michael Brooks confronted his prejudice and chose growth over defensiveness. His willingness to be publicly accountable, to fund real change, and to spend years advocating for anti-discrimination showed that redemption is possible if you do the work. Together, they proved that viral moments can become movements, that individual incidents can spark systemic change, that excellence in the face of discrimination forces even the prejudiced to reconsider their beliefs. Have you or someone you know faced discrimination in healthcare? Share your story in the comments. If you're a medical professional facing bias, know that your skill and compassion are your greatest tools. Keep showing up. Keep being excellent. Keep proving them wrong. If you've ever held prejudice against a healthcare worker based on appearance, consider this your wake-up call. The person you're dismissing might be the only one qualified to save your life. Subscribe for more stories of dignity defeating discrimination, excellence overcoming hatred, and ordinary people creating extraordinary change. Because sometimes, the person you judge is the person who saves you. And that's a lesson worth learning before it's too late.